Arrington. I welcome your testimony.
Well, the ranking member knows how to get me off topic here. I've got a prepared set of remarks, but I'm just going to speak from my heart. And I appreciate the opportunity to be back before this committee, a little like Groundhog Day, because we've been covering this subject matter, which is important to pour over for the American people. But I got to say that the people from West Texas sent me here, and especially in this last Congress, to reverse the curse of the last 4 years. The lawlessness and chaos at the border that has devastated my home state of Texas, and I would say probably communities in every state in the country, because of the open border and the crime, criminals, and drugs that have been pouring into our communities. It is the most imminent national security threat to the country. And the last president did not faithfully uphold the laws of the land, nor did he take serious his constitutional mission to provide for a common defense. That has to change. It's changed on day one with the new commander-in-chief. And we aim to give him the tools and resources to continue to do that job. Secondly, they all suffered from the 21%, roughly, regressive inflation tax. Why? Because of Democrats' failed policies and their wild, unbridled $8 trillion in deficit spending. I'm sure we'll have some good back and forth, but let me be clear. The American people and our great economy has suffered as a result of paying people not to work, of taxing and regulating small businesses, and then, of course, spinning us into 40-year high inflation. That hasn't gone over well for the people in West Texas. So they sent me here to make America stronger, safer, and more prosperous. And that's the mandate they gave our president. That's the mission I'm on. And I'm going to work every day to that end. I believe this bill gets us closer to that vision. I believe that the most important thing we can do is equip our sons and daughters to be safe and successful in providing a common defense. We're long overdue to invest in military readiness vis-a-vis our adversaries. There are lots of things that go into unleashing economic prosperity, but a centerpiece of that is pro-growth tax policy. We had the highest levels of investment, job creation, repatriation of capital after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, not to mention the lowest poverty rates and unemployment rates on record. So this was after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which, by the way, the people at the bottom half and the bottom 10% did far better than the top half and top 10% in terms of wages, in terms of income, and the top 10% or the top 1% paid a greater share of taxes after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So I think so much of this is misleading nonsense and ripping people off the safety net. My last comment is this. I heard quotes about the CBO and 7.8 million people being ripped off the safety net. Let me tell you who those people were according to the nonpartisan CBO. People here illegally, people ineligible, people who have access to other subsidized government health care programs, and people who are work capable but refuse to work. That's not me, Mr. Ranking Member, I assure you. It's the CBO, the same source that y'all quote ad nauseum about us ripping the safety net. Listen, the American people are for what we're doing. They're on our side. They don't want their tax dollars to flow to waste, fraud, and abuse. They want to help people, and they want the program to help their fellow Americans into the future. And none of this stuff is sustainable. None of it. And we should do more. You're right about the debt. We should do more. That is an area that I think we have to do a lot more, or it's going to undermine all of it. The economy, security, our leadership in the world, my children's future, all of it. And every party, both parties, I should say, both parties have come up woefully short in that regard. And so I hope we can get a commitment from our Democrat colleagues. Let's work together on those things that we know will not be done unilaterally, and then we'll take a first good shot at cleaning up the waste, fraud, and abuse and the entitlements and the mandatory programs that are driving us closer to that dangerous and irreparable debt crisis. With that, I yield back, Madam Chair.